Hello, everybody. Happy Friday, guys. Happy Friday. Come on in here. Come on in here. Nola bells, Nola boats. Family and friends, I welcome you to another night of MOCA Unfiltered. And right now, I need y'all to come on in this room for a second. Because tonight we have some things to talk about. Y'all saw the title, y'all saw the thumbnail. The real coldness. The real coldness wasn't the freezer. It was the people around Kenneka. And the real coldness, it started with none other than Theresa. Kenneka was used. She was lied to. And this young lady was tricked to death. So as you all come on in here, I'm going to give y'all a few minutes while I get my mind right. It's what we about to walk through tonight. Honey, it's cold. Not freezer cold. Not hotel cold, but the type of cold that starts in a nasty spirit. I need y'all locked in. I need y'all seated. I need y'all listening. I need y'all chiming in because this story right here, this is another one. Real coldness that surrounded Kenneka long before that hotel ever did. So I'm needing y'all to get your holy water. Get your snacks. Hit that like button as you come in and get situated. Don't forget to tap the emojis to the right for those of you that are sitting in the bushes and those of you that are just hanging around. Subscribe to the channel and come on in here and be a part of the family. Because it's Friday night and we're here to do what we do. We're not here for a long time, but we do make the best of the time that we do have. So I'm going to give you just 2 minutes. Make yourself comfortable and get on up in here. And while you're waiting within those 2 minutes, go ahead on and look at that pinned comment and leave your thoughts in the chat because I want to know where you are tonight. I want to know where you are tonight. So give me a moment. And we're going to dive right on in it.
Welcome to MOCA, no love bells. Hit that like button, you might break the scale. If you can't join the membership, still ride for free. 99, yeah, we lit in here. Comments popping, energy rocking, we all shine. We have a stay. Turn it up, we in the South with style and grace. MOCA got them talking, can't nobody take a place. Nah, from the bayou to the block, we drop truth, not tea. You ain't gotta pay the vibe, hit that like for free. Every panel on fire, every topic gon' trend. If you ain't a member yet, you still a friend, amen. Got love for the real, was no time for the mess. We keep it authentic, that's no labels at its best. Welcome to MOCA, no love bells. Where the truth ring loud like church bells. Like, comment, subscribe, free 99 if you ride. We don't fake the vibe, we gon' live, we outside. Welcome to MOCA, no love bells. Where the truth ring loud like church bells. Like, comment, subscribe, free 99 if you ride. We don't fake the vibe, we gon' live, we outside. It's MOCA and the crew, we the talk of the streets. Bring the real back to YouTube, no scripts, no beats. We laugh, we drag, we educate too. All the bells in the chat know how we do. So tap in, lean back, sip your drink real slow. Let the haters keep watching, we steal the show. From MOCA to NOLA, we hold it down steady. Platinum plus approved, that girl stay ready. Welcome to MOCA, na na bells. Welcome to MOCA, na na bells. Welcome to MOCA, no love bells. Where the truth ring loud like church bells. Like pure, real talk. She ain't following a trend, she lead her own walk. No cameras, my mic check with no lights on blast. But every episode hit like first class. We ain't gossiping, we testifying, keep it bold. Every story got a lesson that need to be told. So hit that bell, join the ride in style. Welcome to MOCA, stick around for a while. Welcome to MOCA, know all our bells. Where the bells ring truth and the chat stay lit. Like, comment, subscribe, don't quit. If you can't join the membership, free not be nice. Still with it. Still with it. We outside.
All right. Happy Friday, guys. Happy Friday and welcome. It's indeed a beautiful thing to see each and every one of you here on this beautiful Friday evening. For those of you that are just entering the building, welcome. If you've not yet hit that like button, please do so for your girl. Share out the live. And don't forget to hit those emojis to the right. Speak to your neighbor. Be courteous and be kind. Because here, we're family. We all stand together in the gap with the same purpose in mind. And that is calling out all of the injustices and remaining in our true, authentic selves. And that's being voices for the voiceless. This space is built on love, is built on trust, is built on understanding. We have a job to do. There could be no MOCA without no you. Every voice matters. Every opinion matters. And here at MOCA Unfiltered, every opinion will be respected. So without further ado, let me do what I do. Once again, happy Friday to each and every one of you. Welcome. We're going to get into this thing and we're going to discuss the real coldness, the real solid dollar. Hey, boo. Welcome back. It is so good seeing you, my love. So here we are, guys. We're in this space. And before I get on to doing what I do, let me throw this disclaimer in there right quick. Because everything discussed in this live stream, it's for commentary, education, and public conversation under fair use. Thank you so very much, my beautiful sister, Sassy. Everyone matters in MOCA's place. These are my thoughts, my opinions, my observations, and they're based on public information, interviews, footage, and documented inconsistencies. This is accountability, y'all. If you feel triggered, offended, or uncomfortable with truth telling, baby, let me tell you right now, this might not be the room for you because here the temperature moves. What you got, Sala? The temperature moves. And we don't know how far up the thermometer that bitch is going. So if this room is not the place for you tonight, it's okay. But for everybody else, let's get into it. Before I move on into the first segment, I want to see the chat wake up. It's Friday, baby. If y'all want to see where we at and what we got going on and how we moving. Man, drop some snowflakes in this chat if you're ready for the cold truth. Drop some fire if you're ready for Mocha to thaw it all out. And if you're ready to ride with purpose over popularity, come with me and drop some fleur-de-lis in this chat. And let's get it started. Hit that like button. Tap that subscribe button. Make sure you got the live chat turned on. And hype this damn live up so YouTube knows Mocha and the Nola Bells and Bows are in the building. Let's go. Let's go. Thank you all so very much. Here we are. We know that the coldness. We know that the coldness didn't start in that freezer. It started in that environment that Kenneka was raised in. That's where it started. You see, people love to pretend like the story starts at the Crowne Plaza. Nah. They love to act like Kenneka just walked into that hotel and everything went wrong that night. Nope. That's not where it went wrong. The coldness that swallowed the very depths of Kenneka. It didn't start in that basement. Nope. It didn't start with that party. It didn't even start with them so-called damn friends. No, ma'am, no, sir, it did not. The real coldness started in the place where she should have been the warmest. Her own damn house. How the hell does a 19-year-old end up surrounded by people who didn't value her life? And it didn't just start at the age of 19. She's been going through this shit all of her life. Let's talk about how a child ends up believing that her pain is an inconvenience to the people who were supposed to protect her. See, Nola Bells and Bows, you don't get that fucking comfortable ignoring somebody's cries for help overnight. You don't get that relaxed dismissing somebody's fear. And you don't get that detached watching somebody spiral unless you've been conditioned to believe this shit all your life. Believing that it ain't worth fighting for. Kenneka was conditioned. And that was a spirit of neglect. That was that Theresa putting in her head, you're going to be all right. Take this shit and roll with it. That kind of shit starts at the home. Theresa, no matter how she got her hands on Kenneka and Kenny, she didn't raise them in a loving environment. She raised those children in confusion. She raised them in secrets, and she raised them in a world where adults played in the shadows and the kids had to navigate the darkness alone. That's who the hell Theresa was. Kenneka was walking through life, trying to survive the lies that she was accustomed to. Trying to survive the damn manipulation. Trying to survive the unstable energy coming from the very woman who wanted social media to believe that she was a fucking hero once the camera showed up. But I beg to differ. Theresa, go sit the fuck down, ma'am. Please, sit down. Because you see, when we look at the patterns, a child who feels unseen grows up around people who treats them unseen. A child who feels unprotected grows up around friends who refuse to give them protection. And a child who watches adults lie, manipulate, hide, and deflect. They grow up expecting people to betray her. And that's what Kenneka expected all her fucking life, because she didn't know no damn better. Why? Because the home life that Kenneka grew up in, that fucking environment, betrayal to her was normal. That's why I say the real coldness didn't start in that freezer. It started in Theresa's spirit the moment she got her hands on Kenneka and Kenny. And y'all probably saying once again, MOCA, no nonsense. Thank you, my love. Y'all probably saying to yourself, MOCA, what you mean the minute she got her hands on Kenny and Kenneka? Let me repeat this part one more time. When I say she got her hands on Kenny and Kenneka, if y'all listening, throw me some ears in the. I'm listening. I'm waiting for you to tell me what you mean when you say she got her hands on Kenny and Kenneka. Put some ears in the chat to let me know that you're listening, family. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Everyone that's just entering the chat. I see those ears. I see those ears. I see those ears. Thank you, guys. And when MOCA say she got her hands on Kenny and Kenneka, I say this to let you all know. Kenny and Kenneka, they are indeed brothers and sisters, but they are not Theresa's biological children. Kenny and Kenneka, they belong to King Edward Jenkins, the man that was awarded $1.2 million in the settlement after Kenneka's death. So that's why I could say to you, the coldness started long before that freezer when it came to Theresa and the way she was treated. And the sad part, Kenneka never even knew she was walking into a setup that started long before she ever took her last breath. She never knew. But Theresa knew. Theresa knew. Kenneka's father ain't shit. He ain't no better than Theresa. Because you show up to sign on a dotted line to benefit off of this child's death. Chat, drop me some snowflakes in the chat. If you understand exactly what MOCA's saying right now, the coldness began with the very person who claimed she was the warmest place. The coldness began in that house. Thank you, Antoinette. Thank you. Now, if we're going to talk about secrets, if we're going to talk about lies, hip hop, I see you, my love. If we're going to talk about secrets for the snowflakes in the chat, I appreciate it. For those of you that's just coming in, please hit that like button for your girl. Share out the live. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We're going to talk about secrets and lies. If we're going to talk about the foundation that failed Kenneka way before a hotel ever touched her name, then we got to talk about that damn daddy. Got to talk about him. The man who helped create Kenneka, but didn't stay around long enough to protect her. The same damn man out of Philadelphia that somehow got Kenny and Kenneka in the hands of Theresa. He needs to be discussed. Because I'm going to be very clear. A little girl don't just fall through the cracks unless both damn parents were asleep at the damn wheel. Or in this case, one was asleep, another one clocked out on the job. Hello? How the hell do you create two kids? King, Edward Jenkins. How the hell do you create two kids? And then just dump them off on Theresa like she was the fucking neighborhood babysitter and not somebody responsible enough to give your children what they deserve. Keep the questions coming. I'm coming. What grown man does that? What kind of dusty, raggedy, emotional, bankrupt ass man makes a life but refuses to show up for it? Because y'all, an absent father ain't just a missing body. He's a missing anchor, a missing identity. That's why Kenneka and Kenny was so goddamn lost under the graps and the hands of a fucking Theresa. That's why they were so lost. Why? What happened between him and Theresa that made this man so distant from Kenny and Kenneka? To my understanding, at one point, Kenny and Kenneka were living with him. But something happened along the way where they ended up back in the damn hands of Theresa. There was no bond, no presence, no protection, no urgency. I don't get it. What the hell was he hiding? And that's a question. What was this man hiding? Who was he hiding from? And why did he allow Theresa bald-headed ass to take the whole thing as far as the fuck she did, unchecked, unchallenged, and uncontested? Make me understand. Because you see, an absent daddy ain't always just gone. Sometimes these absent, raggedy ass men is running from responsibility. Hello. running from his fucking past. And I'm about to talk about the past. Running from things he don't want exposed. And you see all this shit right here wrapped up in a sack that tells you who this man is. He ran from the truth, connected to the very child he helped create. And MOCA's going to stop right there and elaborate just a little more. What the hell was he running from? What was he hiding? Who was he hiding from? Well, God damn it, he was hiding from the authorities. He was hiding from the authorities. Because the birth mother, this lady had 9 children. 9 children. And of the 9, a set of twins mysteriously disappeared. She had been collecting government funds for them for all these years. And you mean to tell me in all these years nobody knew these children were missing? But King Edward knew they were missing because he had them. King London, thank you, my love. King Edward. Oh, Top, I'm so happy to hear your daughter that made it back home. Thank God. Thank God for that. King Edward Jenkins. He knew where those children were. Check on this woman with the 9 children. And when they did a welfare check, she was in possession of 7 and couldn't answer for the other 2. She lied and lied and lied, making excuses. She even went as far as telling these people that she had unalived the 2. The story she told. She was arrested. Just Mona, thank you so very much for the cash app, my love. She was arrested eventually. Her oldest son was making phone calls, pretending to be her at one point, saying that the twins were okay. But for decades, the twins had not been in that mother's custody. And here go the twins. Here goes the twins. Kenneka and Kenny done found their way with their raggedy ass daddy all the way to Chicago and got caught up with a goddamn Theresa. Those missing twins wasn't just missing twins. Those missing twins was with their raggedy ass daddy who took them from a mama. And I don't know if all that woman's children was for this man, but I do know he took his too. He took his too. How they ended up with Theresa, what his relationship was with Theresa at that time, I don't know, but that's where those children ended up. And she mistreated them. She mistreated them. Theresa has that no good ass daughter that's just like her, Lenore. Kenneka was not biological, nor was Kenny. And you could tell in the treatment, you could tell in the behaviors. But what I didn't understand until I really understood Why the hell? Why the hell did Theresa, Lenore, Kenny, and King Edward Jenkins, why did all four of these people collect millions of dollars in a settlement off of this baby's death? Make it make sense to me. And we want to know, why was King doing all this running? That's why he was doing all that running. How the hell do you not show up for the life of your child, but somehow feel entitled to show up for her death? Thank you so very much, Kristen. How do you think you're entitled to a slice of the money when you couldn't give that child a slice of your fucking time? Bitch, that ain't grief. That ain't no type of honor. That's opportunistic as hell. You mean to tell me that this man could be absent, invisible? Uninvolved. But the second money hits the table on his dead daughter's name, he suddenly want a seat? Absolutely the fuck not. You didn't raise her. You didn't protect her. You didn't show up for her. You didn't fight for her. But you damn sure showed up when there was a chance to collect off her tragedy. Ain't nothing but a man who failed the fatherhood and tried to profit from his failure. The hell? If y'all agree that both parents had blood on their hands in different ways, drop a skeleton in the chat. Drop me a skeleton if you believe both King Edward and Theresa both had blood on their hands in different ways. Let me grab some chat questions before we move just a little further. Welcome, guys. Welcome each and every one of you to the chat. Happy Friday. If you've not yet hit that like button, please do so. I would greatly, greatly appreciate it. And don't forget to hit the emojis to the right. Let YouTube know that we're out here once again, and we are bringing the truth to the table on a Friday night. On a Friday night, baby. Hope y'all got y'all drinks, y'all snacks, and whatever else the hell y'all need. Because Theresa keeps us busy. This child was failed. Henry Boone says, hey, MOCA, shout out to you and all my live chat family. Henry Boone, welcome, boo. Let me get to these good old questions. Oh, Lord, MOCA is so far behind. But y'all questions are important. They are important. The Betsy says, Jedediah made a new video yesterday. He said Theresa knows exactly what happened to Kenneka. The Betsy. I know he knows. Thank you all for the skeletons. I know that Jedediah knows that Theresa knows exactly what happened to Kenneka. And the reason I say that with my whole chest, when Jedediah said Y'all remember when Theresa had done pissed Jedediah off, and Theresa was out here with the bullshit. Jedediah said, I done had enough. I protected that bitch. So when Jedediah said that, you had to sit and ask yourself, what was he protecting her from? What was it that he knew that nobody else knew? You had to make it make sense. He knew. He knew. Dollar Bill, I see you, boo. Jedediah been knowing. And Theresa should be ashamed of herself. And now, oh child, we're going to get into that too. Theresa got Chat GPT writing her some shit out. Now she's claiming she's filing a lawsuit. She's a whistleblower now. She wants to be a whistleblower because she feels that the police department, Rosemont Police Department and Chicago Police Department failed her. She's named them in her lawsuit. And she also named the activist, not Jedediah, the other one. She's suing him, she says. She says she's the whistleblower. If Theresa don't sit her ass down talking about a lawsuit, Theresa got the people fooled like she could, file another lawsuit. I don't know how long the time frame was on that NDA. I don't know how long the time frame was on it. But when Theresa signed that NDA, she signed, they made Kenny sign, Lenora sign, and King Edward Jenkins sign. They all signed the NDA. And that was to protect the hotel. That was to protect that restaurant. That was to protect the police department. So they could stop with that bullshit. You done got paid. You done took the blood money. But now you want to sue, bitch, the case closed. The case is closed. Just like your brain. Somebody should have told you better. The Betsy says Jedediah shared messages between him and Irene, who is seeking assistance in finding an attorney for a defamation case concerning her character. Listen, I think the Betsy girl. Irene waits 8 years. Irene waits 8 years to now feel she's being defamed. Irene should have stayed off of Facebook Live while all this is going on. All this was going on and Irene was on live. Thank you for being a member for 7 months, Kenyatta. Welcome, boo. So what's the problem with them waiting 8 years? Jedediah is one of the activists, Rob. He was the one that stood on the front line for Theresa, seeking truth and justice for Kenneka. And then Theresa turned around and told him to kiss her ass. Bless Mountain Man. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And congratulations on the gifted membership, my love. But we're going to move right on along. We're going to move. We're going to move right on along. I'm trying to pull up some of y'all questions. I don't want you all to think that I'm ignoring you, because that's one thing we don't do in here. I'm trying to grab some of these good questions before I move on. Henry Boone says, Mocha, Theresa was right out evil, selfish. She envied Kenneka. Something was wrong. Hey, London said, first live, loving the content. You got a new subscriber. Thank you, baby, and welcome to the NOLA Bells, my love. Welcome. Theresa ain't shit. And I don't give a damn what nobody says. Nothing Theresa is doing is right. Nothing Theresa is doing says that she's caring nor kind. Miss T Love said, I was wondering who were the other family members who received money outside of Lenora and Lil Kenny. You answer my question, Miss Mocha. Speak, queen, speak on it, girl. That's who the other family member was. Kenneka's biological dad. The same man that they supposedly said was dead and left an inheritance. Kenneka's father's not dead, because the dead man can't sign off for royalties. They just can't. London asks, where's the real mother? Last I heard, incarcerated. Last I heard, incarcerated. And then Theresa tries to throw the people off, right? Theresa, Kenneka's getting all this attention, even in her death. Kenneka Jenkins. Why Theresa all of a sudden is, her name is Kenneka Martin. Theresa, if you don't sit your ugly, raggedy ass the hell down. Oh, Lord. Miss T Love, Kenny Jenkins is the brother, baby. Henry Boone said, Mocha, you are an inspiration to a whole generation. Real talk. God bless you, sister. Thank you so much, my love. I appreciate that. London says, I love the strength in your voice. Thank you, baby. Rashina said, and that's why everything about him has vanished. You can't, baby. I don't know. I just don't know. Because right about now, King Edward is a mystery. He ain't got that money. Baby. My girl Ann says, it's coming out now. It's coming out. Allegedly, Kenneka's father was also in the streets. He was a Mason and Theresa Eastern Star. I heard, girl. But you know me, Ann. I'm going to bring you the facts. When I find out, you know I'm bringing it back here. You know I'm bringing it back. Hip Hop says, and not to mention, we haven't heard anything from or about Kenneka's brother since then either. Hip Hop. Theresa said he's mentally unstable. They got him in a mental institution. And for them to have him locked up in a mental institution, They should have locked Theresa ass up in a mental institution. I know they saw it. I know they saw it. So let's move right on along. Let's move on. He was in jail at one time. At one time, he was in jail. And in this situation, both Kenneka and Kenny both needed protection. Both of them. But Theresa chose to move on and protect everybody except the ones who needed it the most. See, there comes a point where we got to stop pretending, stop sugarcoating, stop tiptoeing around people like Theresa. Because, bitch, you was a play mama. You weren't those kids' biological mother. You was a play mama because you wanted their daddy. And he came with fucking baggage. And when he came with baggage, you went right along with the program, knowing that he stole them children from that woman. Bitch, motherhood is a title. But being a protector, a truth teller, being a safe place, being accountable, that's a role, Theresa. That's a fucking role that you never played. Anytime a child is surrounded by danger, anytime a child is surrounded by danger, betrayal, raggedy ass parents, and pretend play parents, shady friends, raggedy ass environments, unstable situations, 9 times out of 10, the adults in the background been living like this. Exactly, Miss T Love. Theresa was Lenora's mama. She was not the mama to the other two. Theresa and everything around her has always been messy. They've been dealing with the wrong people. They've been choosing chaos over stability. Theresa loved protecting people. All the wrong fucking people. Kenneka wasn't important to Theresa. But had it been, thank you, Sister Rashina. My girl said she's not liking the likes. Please hit the like button for your girl. Because if you're sitting in the bushes and you're sitting in the clouds, you're sitting there for a reason. Whether you like what you're hearing, yes or no, you're sitting there. So the least you can do is hit the like button for your girl. Had it been Lenora in this situation, listen, had it been Lenora in this situation and not Kenneka, if y'all think the outcome would have been different, if y'all feel Theresa would have handled this a little differently, drop some hundreds in the chat for MOCA. Because it's very telling. Very, very telling. There is such a thing. There is such a thing as treating children differently. Thank you all for the 100s in the chat. Theresa, once again, protected all the wrong people. She protected the hotel. She lied for them. She tried to soften the timeline and downplayed their negligence. And now she's mad at them. Be mad at yourself, bitch, because you accepted that. Theresa protected Lenore. Theresa protected Lenore. She never held her accountable. She let her hide behind the silence. And she moved like Lenore was the golden child and Kenneka was the problem. Theresa went on and she protected the narrative. Theresa twisted stories. She fed the media half-truths. And she gave the family contradiction for years and years and years. Theresa even protected that no good ass man. And most of all, she protected herself. She tried to protect her image, her reputation, and her damn pockets. But nowhere in that list do we ever see Theresa protecting Kenneka, not even once. They didn't want the manipulation exposed. Because if Theresa really wanted justice, she would have become a beast in all this shit. She would have become, Theresa would have been relentless. She would have never stopped. Theresa had parties. Theresa got on Facebook Live drunk, yelling, ranting, playing victim. Theresa did everything that a woman with no care nor concern about the well-being of a child would do. See, when you done birth a child, there's a bond that nobody could break. There's a bond that nobody could get through. Theresa have displayed no emotions from day one. Day one. Everybody that wanted accountability, everybody that stood on truth, everybody that wanted justice, that stood on the front lines with Theresa, she had a problem with them. And that to me don't sound like a mother. That to me don't sound like somebody that really cared. Theresa wasn't shit. But she did move like somebody who knew if the full truth ever came out, it wouldn't just expose the hotel. It wouldn't just expose the friends, but it would expose her ass as well. It really would. If you all are just joining this live chat, hit the like button for your girl, so YouTube knows that this conversation matters, even to y'all that's in the bushes. And don't forget those emojis on the side. Those of you that's in the chat, reach over and tap those emojis. They matter. Anybody with emotions and feelings, They will protect what they're tied to. Tom, she's in jail, girl. The last I heard that mother's in jail. But y'all know I'm still digging. Theresa don't want to be exposed for the role that she really played. Everything that Theresa was tied to, she tried to protect it. You only stay silent when you benefit from some shit. You only start lying and telling half truths when you participate in shit. You deflect from what you regret and what you caused. And that's why she's out here right now looking the way she's looking and doing the shit that she's doing. Theresa didn't just fail Kenneka. I want y'all to know that. She didn't just fail Kenneka, she sacrificed her. She sacrificed Kenneka emotionally, spiritually, socially, physically. She threw that child in an environment that wasn't safe. She surrounded her with people who weren't right, and she knew that. Theresa ignored all the goddamn warning signs because she was the problem. It's not that Theresa dismissed certain behavior. Hell, she warranted the behavior. She looked the other way because she was comfortable in that damn space. Theresa lived a whole life where chaos was fucking normal. And then act shocked when chaos swallowed Kenneka. Bitch, stop it. Stop it. Bitch, you can't raise a flower in a freezer and then cry about the frostbite. You can't do that because you allowed it. You allowed it. How many of you all believe that Theresa has manipulated this entire situation, and she's been manipulating it for as long as she's had those children in her custody? Theresa's very own brother was out here seeking justice for Kenneka. J Money was asking too many questions. He was getting too loud and he was digging too deep. Thank you all for the me's in the chat. J Money was asking too many questions. And all the questions that he was asking, they pointed toward Theresa, and she didn't have no fucking answers for him. J Money was going too deep. The deeper he went, the antsier Theresa got. And what happened to J Money, y'all? How many of you all in the chat knows what happened to J Money? I'll wait. I'll wait. Miss T Love said, oh Lord, yes. J Money got close, too close, real quick. I watched his live and I felt a fear for him. Then when I saw it, boom, J Money disappeared. They got rid of him, Carla Henry. They got rid of him. Theresa is very fucking calculated. Everybody that got too close, she got antsy. How many people have Theresa sacrificed? It looks strange to us. What happened to Kenneka? It was just downright horrible, unacceptable for a parent. But it was quite normal for Theresa. J Money loved those children. He stood for justice when nobody else would. Lenora knows about it. Theresa knows about it. Even Theresa's sister knew about it. What happened to Theresa's sister? What happened to Zach TV? See, that's the part nobody wants to talk about. Everybody that got close to uncovering the truth, they disappeared. And Theresa gets to run around here playing crazy. And everybody accept it like she's fucking crazy. Ain't shit crazy about Theresa. Strong Survive says J Money was Kenneka's uncle. Was Kenneka's uncle King Von's friend. A couple of months later, he was unalive too. Hmm. 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 London says, I just said the people that play crazy be the smartest ones. She's calculated though. As T Love says. As T Love says, I wonder, was the phone call to Zach, Theresa's sister? And that's why they sounded so much alike. I believe that phone call was Theresa herself. Because that very same phone call, the same words, same call that was made to Zach, that very same call was made to Jedediah. That same call. I believe it was Theresa. London said that's exactly why she made Lenore shut up after Dr. Oz. Now y'all getting it. Tina Power said, I see a pattern. J Money, Zach TV, Theresa's sister. It happened in threes or more. Ann says, see, I love y'all. Cocoa Butter, I see you, sis. Ann says, I love y'all because we talk about it. J Money stalked that kitchen. He was being followed too. But he put in effort to find out what happened. Theresa didn't. Hell no, Theresa didn't. J Money was going to get the answers. He was going to get the answers that Theresa did not want exposed. Top said, so is it true that she supposedly was supposed to set Bree Bree up that night? From what I gather, Top, from what I gather, Bree Bree and the other girls had gotten orders, and they We're going to set Kenneka up. It's a lot of shit. It's a lot of shit. It's a lot of shit. London saying all them bodies is hunting Theresa right now. And they are. They are. My beautiful sister Cocoa Butter. Happy Friday, mama. Charlotte's Web says she ain't crazy. That's strategy. Absolutely. Absolutely. Hip Hop says, y'all, that was a different J Money. King Bond's friend J Muna just got hit this year. Thank you for the clarification, Hip Hop. So that's two different people. Thank you for that, boo. London says, you notice how Zach was fighting for justice for her daughter, allegedly, but she never mentioned Zach at all. And he was in communication with the London. But she didn't want him to be in the forefront. He knew too damn much. Kitty says, Kitty says, she even put Jedediah in danger. The fact that she went on Dr. Oz, who is also corrupt, says enough. But she knew where to go. She knew where to go, Kitty. Dark energy follows dark energy. Dark energy follows dark energy. Ann says, it's like all who tried to help got killed. And buzzards like Theresa and Lenore still walking around spending money from Kenneka's death. Isn't that some shit? Welcome everyone to the chat. If you're just getting here, please hit the like button for your girl. London says Lenore was scared to say anything on the radio station. Theresa talked about Lenore as if she wasn't sitting right next to her. Hey, Blizz, baby, welcome. Rashina said she snaked the shit out of Zach. And she did. And she did. Lenora sat there like she couldn't say a word. Shingy eyes. Shingy laughing. Shingy said, my name Lenora also. Well, we love you, boo. If Theresa could scream, march, cry, point fingers, and run to the media for everybody else, right? Why the fuck didn't she ever drag that damn daddy out into the light? Why didn't she ever say his name, y'all? Why did she never say this man's name? She never hold him accountable for shit. But my thing is, why the hell wasn't he out there screaming for justice? Theresa, you can't never make us believe that you wanted what was right for Kenneka. Because you protected all the wrong fucking people. And that tells me one thing, Theresa. That tells me that there were secrets. There were secrets, goddammit, between you and that fucking man that was bigger. Theresa and King Edward, them motherfuckers had secrets between the two of them that was bigger than that fucking hotel and bigger than the friends, bigger than the timeline, bigger than all of this shit. Thank you so much, Sister Cocoa Butter. They had secrets. Because why was he so damn solid? Why the hell he wasn't beating down doors, kicking in doors, and pulling people by the collar? Why didn't he stand next to Theresa in these fucking interviews? And why the fuck wasn't he on Facebook Live demanding answers? Most of all, why the hell was he a goddamn ghost? But he wasn't Casper when it was time to sign for that fucking money. Why? Because my thing is this. If King James was so goddamn innocent, and if he's a real stand-up father, if he was connected to Kenneka in any goddamn way, he would have showed up. He would have fought. He would have demanded the damn truth. But instead, he pulled a fucking disappearing act. So slick that half the world didn't even know his name. And Theresa, you watched it fucking happen, bitch. On purpose. You never called him out. You never questioned shit. You never dragged him like you did these people that you tried to expose. You never said where was he when Kenneka needed him the most, bitch. You never did that because you two motherfuckers had secrets. Y'all had secrets. And I still want to know, why the fuck would you protect a man who didn't even stay around to protect his own goddamn child? Theresa, you ain't no better than the fucking mama that this nigga stole those children from. But you want us to be out here being Team Theresa. You a good mama. You ain't a good shit. You ain't even good for your goddamn self, Theresa. That's it and that's all. And the only reason you're protecting this man, that fucking whore, it's because you know in your heart, Theresa, if you protect this, the way you protecting this man, you know fucking well, if you expose him, you exposing your damn self. If that man had any dirt, any secret skeletons, any role in Kenneka's upbringing or lack thereof, any connection to the people around her, Theresa knew it. And she kept his name out of the spotlight like her life depended on it, because now it's all beginning to make sense. Masonry secrets, the dark side. Eastern Star secrets, the dark side. You hoes had something to hide. But then you show up for the money. You show up for the money. Somebody said the words money, settlement, or compensation. Here the fuck he come. Slide in the back door like he earned a piece of something. Bitch, that's blood money. Opportunism. That's a man who failed not once but twice. First as a father, then as a human being. But the reality of it all, Theresa, you didn't bring him up because bringing him up would give us too much of the fucking truth. Theresa, the only thing I could say to you, you weren't the only person that failed Kenneka. Bitch, you just happened to be the one holding the microphone. How many of y'all believe Theresa hid this man on purpose? How many of y'all believe she kept him in the dark on purpose? Because she didn't want his truth exposed. She didn't want the dots to be connected as to where Kenneka and Kenny really came from. Theresa's a crook. And being a crook is being exposed. Miss T Love said God sits high and looks down real low. He knows they go regret the day they took that money and will. Marvin, I remember. That's what Lenore said. Kenneka rushed out to her at 1:30. How the hell y'all let Theresa have a chokehold on y'all? Theresa got a chokehold on the people, and the devil got a chokehold on Theresa. Somebody need to make this shit make sense. Strong Survive said MOCA is a lot of powerful people behind this. Stronghold, I believe that with everything that's in me. Bigger than we can imagine to take out from old block. I remember now, J Money was set up, going to meet a female. That was very calculated. Very planned. Very planned. Sakina, welcome, boo. It's the lies for me. Ann says Theresa knew Kenneka didn't really have family, so she took advantage of a child she was jealous of. Girl, yeah, Tarsha, she had a daddy. Kenneka had a whole daddy. He was out there in them streets. Cocoa Butter said Theresa going to hell with gasoline draws on, and she is. Hey, Keisha, welcome, boo. Tom says, I could believe it. They both kept each other a secret, and that's where it gets ugly. That's where it gets ugly, because they're both holding secrets and sacrifice a child in the midst of their bullshit. PJ says, for the love of money, some people will unalive their own money or their own mother, and that's a fact. But look at where that money got Theresa at, though. Look at her situation. You done collect that kind of money and you running around here and lost your damn mind. Theresa is literally walking this earth in hell. She really is. Sheena says, I believe they both wanted to be hidden so their dirty ass laundry wouldn't be exposed. Exactly. Exactly. And the sad part about it, Theresa knows bigger people involved. Theresa knows that there are bigger people involved in this, and she keeps playing the game. Like right now, she wants to be a whistleblower. Theresa claiming to be a whistleblower right now. Theresa is signing her own death certificate. That's what she's doing. Kitty says, with Hollywood and politicians being exposed, they can't hide anymore, especially if they were a part of it. Girl, it's getting ugly. But she waited 8 years later. 8 years later. But anyway, let MOCA move on. Kenneka supposedly died. Supposedly surrounded by a group of friends, all in the same age bracket. You don't just die around people your age unless everybody that was there at that so-say party had coldness in them. You don't sit there and watch your friends stagger, fall apart, fade out and disappear, and you don't feel some type of fear, panic, or urgency. These bitches were heartless, soulless. Their spirit was rotted. But these girls knew what was going on because they all got instructions as to how to carry this through from Theresa. Theresa navigated all of this. As I said, Kenneka was the sacrificial lamb. All of this shit was plot and planted before that child even knew what hit her. They weren't her friends. They were all witnesses to her suffering. And they all were participants in her downfall. They saw that Kenneka wasn't okay. And it didn't stop the party. It didn't slow the music. They watched her. They watched her be drugged because they drugged her. They watched her be violated because they violated her. They watched Kenneka manipulated, confused, scared, and they kept recording that shit like it was entertainment. As I watched these videos, need somebody to make me understand these friends, these so-called friends. Because what I saw was a setup. What I saw was a hell of a setup. If y'all were really Kenneka's friend and was willing to help her, if y'all realized Kenneka didn't have her keys or her phone, and y'all saw her condition, why couldn't one friend leave to go get the keys and the phone and one stay there to help her? It was a setup. I watched the video. Kenneka did a lot of walking that night, going in many different places. Some areas there was a camera, some areas there wasn't. But they can't make me believe there was no cameras in all of those places. And then what really fucked me up was the final picture of seeing Kenneka in that freezer. That's why I say something happened to Kenneka before she got into that freezer. Kenneka's clothes was all disheveled. Her pants were dirty, dirty, dirty. Clothes were dirty. Where the hell had she been to be that dirty? But they want me to believe, or they want us to believe, that she just walked from the hotel room straight to the freezer. But how do you get dirty in the process? Something happened. And those friends knew all about it. Because there was also footage of those same friends with different people in different areas of that hotel. Kenneka didn't have a chance. They watched everything happen to Kenneka. That baby had bruises on her that Theresa refused to talk about. But she's around here talking about she want her baby's hair and her phone. Theresa, I don't know what you want the phone for, bitch, because you didn't want to give the police the phone for them to swipe the phone. Stop. Just stop. Only people who's not new to that type of environment, only people who grew up around neglect, raised under chaos, behaves like chaos is normal. That's why those friends did what they did. If Kenneka was just moving around, not knowing where she was, because she was supposedly out of it, why did Kenneka only have on one shoe? Top, I heard that. I heard it was a fight at the pool. But who was she fighting with? I heard that. And not only was it a fight at the pool, I heard the girl drown in the pool. I don't care what happened. Your friend don't wander off alone and just disappear. Friend don't go missing in a damn hotel. And your response is to go home, change clothes, sleep, and then start calling around. Hell to the no. Mm-mm. They left out there like she was disposable. They lied over and over and over. Every story changed. Every timeline flipped. Every detail contradicted. And each time they opened their fucking mouth, the lie got messier. Because them guilty spirits, they spoke before they thought. And at some point, a lie always slips up. That's why they didn't immediately run for help. Nobody was trying to save her. These little hoes was trying to save themselves. The coldness from those friends, it matched the coldness in Theresa's spirit. And it matched the coldness in that absent ass daddy. And it literally mirrored the coldness of the freezer she ended up in. Do y'all see the pattern yet? Kenneka was surrounded by a bunch of people that pretended to care about her. Raised by people who pretended they loved her. And then she was searched for by people who pretended they didn't know what the fuck happened. This whole case is a web of deception, a circle of betrayal, and a family of secrets. And even that group of friends, they too have blood on their hands because everybody walked away, but Kenneka didn't. London says that's why Manifa kept insisting Theresa knows. Manifa, she has to insist that Theresa knows because Manifa knows she took orders from Theresa. Theresa sent her. Theresa sent her. Wanda said those girls were Theresa's friends, or should I say her aunt's friends. London says a scrape on the foot, the same foot that scraped on that cart when they had to mop up the blood. Kristen said, I seen the video of the three stooges walking down and then back up the hall, looking at each other and laughing. It was funny to them. Lenora did talk about the hair being wet, so why would Lenora know all that? Goes back to what I said in the beginning. Lenora was there. Lenora was there. And I'm not going to sit up here and pretend that these were some innocent little confused girls who suddenly didn't know what to do. We're going to stop acting like they were clueless teenagers caught in the wrong place at the wrong time so Manifa could go sit the fuck down. These girls were moving under management. They were moving under instruction. They were moving with the purpose, and that purpose, sure as hell, wasn't to protect Kenneka. They moved with Theresa in mind. These goddamn girls weren't just friends with Kenneka. They were friends with Theresa and Lenore first. Let's not forget that. These girls were Lenore and Theresa's friends first. Let that sink in. This was not a group of random children from the neighborhood. They weren't strangers that she met along the way, and they weren't no new friends who just popped up for a goddamn party. These girls were extensions of that family dynamic. They were trained, I say. They were trained in that family system. They were handled. Let's talk about it. These same girls that called Kenneka their friend, they were handled. They were groomed and directed by Theresa and Lenore. But let me tell y'all something. These girls were workers. These girls were workers. They were foot soldiers. They were runners. They were little madams in fucking training. And Theresa was the damn madam. We got to call it for what it is. We cannot ignore what's in plain sight. They were too fucking comfortable. They were too calm, too collected, too unfazed by somebody who's barely able to walk. That's how they behaved that night. And that's not the behavior of girls witnessing an emergency for the first time. That's the behavior of motherfuckers who've seen this shit before. They had a role. They had a role, and they damn sure played it. I want y'all to follow along and hear me well. They had a role. Each one of them had a role. One distracted her. One watched the door. One controlled the phone. There was one that kept the live stream going. And one kept misdirecting people in the comments. That was not chaos. That was coordination. That's how this shit went. And if you on the same page with me and then you agree with what Mocha's saying right now, man, put some hundreds in the chat, because this shit was too goddamn calculated. But that's not what they wanted us to see. That's not what they wanted us to see, the distraction. Why would one have to wash the door? Why would one have to get the clothes and the phone? I'm confused. Why would one intentionally keep a live stream going the entire time? And says everything Theresa does and says from this point forward will be about how she was screwed over when she's the culprit of it all. That part. My girl Top says, remember the footage? When they walked up the pool, they beat her up because she supposedly was supposed to set Bree up. And they found out that's what they claimed. They claimed she was supposed to set Bree up. But what gets me, the part that I don't understand, if Kenneka was supposed to set Bree up, how could she be comfortable in knowing that that would have been the end of her life too? Strong Survive said, yeah, she had defensive wounds on her body, meaning she probably fought her unaliver's back. Exactly, Strong Survive. London, exactly. She was ready to go. She felt the energy. Top, that's the biggest argument right now. That's why Theresa ain't shit. I'm going to leave you highlighted for a second. Top said supposedly they buried Evans, not Jenkins. Jenkins supposedly in an urn. Kenneka sitting behind Theresa every time she go live in that urn. And Evans, I got a lot of questions with that, right? She too was unalive that particular night. The question I have with that, she was a friend of Theresa's. She was a friend of Theresa's. Antonio Evans was a friend of Theresa's. Way too old. Yes, the one on her mantle. That's Kenneka on the mantle. On when Theresa go live, look at that urn. Let me tell you something. Theresa is very calculated. And all of this shit is going to backfire. And she think them demons whipping her ass now. But the whipping God is going to put on her won't compare to what the demons is doing to her. When you got a mindset to sit up here and calculate shit the way this has been calculated and hurt so many people in the process, baby, you ain't seen shit happen to you yet. Antonio Evans. She was Theresa's friend. Too old to be in the same atmosphere with Kenneka and her little group of friends. So why was Antonio Evans anywhere within that vicinity? How does your friend Theresa, see, that's where people got to start thinking. How does your friend Theresa, Antonio Evans, because y'all around the same age group, bitch, how does your friend Antonio Evans comes up unalived around the same time in the same night with Kenneka? Antonio Evans, I don't give a shit, is who ended up in that casket, because Theresa, y'all had a whole service. To my understanding, that casket was only open for a few seconds for family members to view it, and some of the family members didn't even want to view the goddamn body because they knew it wasn't Kenneka. That wasn't Kenneka that y'all buried. That's why Theresa never spent $1 to get a headstone. That headstone came about just this year, May of 2025. And that headstone was purchased by concerned citizens, not even Theresa. Theresa, so calculated. Theresa decided they would cremate Kenneka. You burn the body, you ain't gonna get the answers that you're looking for. That's it, and that's all. Theresa sacrificed a lot of people. And yes, ma'am, Kitty, Antonio was one of them. Her friend. Her friend. But Theresa knew, if I cremate Kenneka, can't nobody question shit. Ann said, I learned Lenora has a drug dealing boyfriend who beats her up. He will do the same as Theresa's boyfriend. Take her money too and run. She don't deserve that blood money either. Hey, that's just the beginning of her problems. London said, and they made sure Zari wasn't there. Right, Sakina? They all was there. 8 years later, claiming she was her best friend. Get the hell on. I'm sick of them. Strong Survive says Kenneka was also gang stalked. They watched her. They watched her every move. And there were plants there. There were people calling, telling about this girl's every move. She went through too fucking much. Theresa and her fake friends all knew she was surrounded by snakes and demons. And that part, that child didn't know. Top says, Remember when Theresa viewed the body after she came out from by that freezer? She walked back and looked at Kenneka like it wasn't her because she knew it wasn't her. She knew it wasn't her. They said, this shit is wicked. This shit is wicked. It was staged. Everything was staged. And Theresa thought she was going to get sympathy by going on all these different damn talk shows. She made herself look stupid. Top says, remember what I just said about her looking at her like she wasn't sure it was her? But then have footage of her running out that hotel like she wasn't, just looking like she wanted to run. Girl, Theresa played the part. She played the part. The fuck? Top says, I heard Theresa was there on the 6th, and one of them says something about a parking ticket on the 6th at the same hotel. Baby, that's the night I questioned that guy about the 6th and the parking ticket. He had all kind of stories for me, but Theresa is telling on herself. All you got to do is listen to her lives and them demons coming out. And they're telling it. And whatever the demon don't want to put out, Kenneka kicking her ass and making her tell it all. Okay, PJ, I'm going to check it, boo. Ann says, but at that funeral, Theresa was acting with no motherly sympathy, and she was not. I told you she was standing up there performing with that Amazon dress on her ass. Sakina, I'm telling you, I'm telling you, this girl was sacrificed. This girl was set up. They all had a role to play, right? Look at what you just said. Bree Bree even had that child's ring on. Why, Bree Bree? Why? They all gone to hell. They were jealous. And yes, Kitty, all were evil. Hey, stars, welcome, boo. Exactly, Rashida, and that's what raises all the red flags. Why the hell you get a headstone for somebody that's cremated? She ain't get no headstone. She ain't get that headstone, girl. The community bought that because they was sick of this child supposedly being there with none. But little did they know that headstone that they put there is not for Kenneka. They didn't give Antonia a headstone with Kenneka whole body standing there. The fuck? I don't mean to laugh. This shit is funny, but not funny. You got Antonio Evans in the dirt, but then you got a big live statue of Kenneka sitting on top of Antonio Evans. Man, what in the Cartoon Network bullshit is this? Hula child. Right, London? You're absolutely right. A headstone can go anywhere. Don't mean her flesh is in the ground, girl. I just said that. Shit. Top said, I used to be up till 3 or 4 on her and Naziah. Oh, Top, I'm sorry. I'm telling y'all, Theresa set all that shit up. Star said, Kenneka the Lamb. She didn't go along with Theresa's program, that part. She didn't want no part of it. And Theresa was like, one way or another, bitch, you go either do as I say or get gone. And the thing is, Kenneka didn't want no part of it. And they couldn't let her just walk away because she'd been around Theresa a long time. And she knew too damn much. Wanda says, if she was frozen, why her body was straight and not stiff? That Wanda, that part. TB and Tony, you got caught in the crossfire, boo. That's what happened. Theresa ain't got a worry in the world. But somebody should have picked up that case for Miss Barbara. Somebody should have picked up that case for Antonio Evans' mama. Because you know what? Where it said that's Kenneka, I'd have got that bitch dug up. It would have got dug the fuck up. I don't care what it would have cost. Y'all would have had to prove me wrong that that was not my child in that dirt. And then the world buying that fucked up excuse that Theresa gave for all these years. Kenneka didn't have a headstone because I want the dirt to settle. Bitch, what dirt? What dirt? The hell? You making it sound like you done went to a cemetery and they buried this motherfucker in the swamp. You waiting for the dirt to settle. Stars says, Star says she got money, also known as government benefits, by adopting Kenneka for real, for real. And that's why she's trying to confuse the people. Kenneka went out as being Kenneka Jenkins. Now, Theresa's out here. Her name is Kenneka Martin. Theresa, sit your ass down. People just don't understand. Top said, just like they had her body just laying out with them 2 men in there. Notice they didn't show her up close. We couldn't tell if it was her either. Exactly. They did that deliberately. That was purposeful. They knew that wasn't no goddamn Kenneka. And Theresa, you a piss poor bitch for letting us believe that story. Miss T Love said that's where that hoeing and going comes from. That's where it comes in at with the previous parking ticket. A lot of transactions go on in that hotel. Yes, ma'am. Sorry, Sheena. Ooh, Strong Survive. You remember that rant? Strong Survive says, in one of Theresa's rants, thank you to the 44th president out of her own mouth she met. Number 44, and Michael at the White House after Kenneka's death. Wasn't number 44 and Michael born in Chicago, specifically the old Brock projects? That lady is insane. Telling y'all this case is a ugh. Theresa's not ashamed of nothing. I'm telling you, y'all, it's something with Kenneka and Antonio. Antonio, God rest that baby soul, another one. Antonio was Theresa's friend. Theresa sacrificed another one. But back to those friends had a role, y'all, and they played it well. They moved like people who were reporting to somebody. Who the hell would they be reporting to? They were reporting to Theresa and Lenore. One thing we got to know, they were too comfortable. Those girls were not afraid of that hotel. They weren't afraid of the consequences, and they were not afraid of Kenneka being missing, but they were afraid of somebody finding out the truth and of their plan. They wasn't going there to have no damn birthday fun. They went out there to deliver. They went to deliver Kenneka. And we have to call it what the hell it is. The setup was real. The staging was real. The manipulation was real. And their friendship was fake as fuck. Those girls walked Kenneka straight into danger because that was their job. They were raised under women who normalized secrets, and they were groomed by Theresa, who lived in chaos. Theresa didn't need to be in the room physically. Her spirit was there. Her orders was there. Her energy was there. Everything. These girls knew what was about to happen. They weren't surprised when Kenneka got disoriented because they gave her the drugs. They weren't shocked when she wandered off. That was supposed to happen. They weren't terrified when all that time passed. Because this time, the target wasn't them. The target was Kenneka. And that's why you see zero guilt in these girls' eyes. Shit. No tears. Nobody's crying. Nobody breaking down. Nobody have a piece of regret. But they all quiet. They disappearing. They're lying. They're protecting Theresa's story. These little bitches knew. They been knew. They participated. They followed the orders. They acted like little workers. They played their part in the setup. If y'all hear what I'm putting down, drop some snakes in this chat if you always felt these girls were slithering in the background. If y'all felt they were slithering in the background, drop them snakes. Top says, and remember when she was just spitting out her mouth, she was calling Kenneka a bitch, and she was. And that's why I can't do her. Kate. Hey, Steffi G, welcome. Godzilla King, welcome to the chat, my love. Mocha, everything you were saying, you was right. That's why they sent that man over here that night. But you didn't fall for the bullshit. My discernment is a bitch. Thank you all for dropping the snakes in the chat. Wanda says, Mocha, when they going to know that we play chess when it comes to these kids and they still playing checkers? Wanda, checkmate once again. Ann said it said Theresa put $6,000 before she got rich, but never bought a headstone for Kenneka 8 years later. Now she's broke. And let me tell you where the $6,000 come from. I'm going to clear up some things. It's a lot of misconceptions in what people is understanding. When that settlement was dispersed, Theresa got her share. King Edward got his share. Kenny got his share. Lenora got her share. That was their money. But they allocated $6,000. In that settlement, they gave $6,000 to go towards Kenneka's funeral. Theresa ain't put up shit. That's what they said. Irene didn't know. But I don't know. I don't know. I don't fucking know. Birds of a feather flock together. And for Theresa to bring her ass out here. For Theresa to bring her ass out here and say that they unalive Kenneka because she called out her name. Theresa, shut the hell up. Just shut up. I've never seen so many black-hearted people in my life. How could you do this to another human being is beyond me. And even more so, those that supposedly grew up under your roof. Those that you supposedly call your own. How the hell you do that? Star says Theresa wanted to make money in every way. Don't forget, she went on the morning show. She went on the morning show. She went to Dr. Oz. She went to Nancy Grace. Theresa, get the fuck on. Kitty said so much darkness in this case is stomach turning. How could anyone be so evil? Well, Theresa ain't ordinary. Theresa ain't an ordinary bitch. These girls, they all played a part. These girls didn't slip up. They didn't panic. None of that. They didn't make a mistake, y'all. Everything that happened to Kenneka with these girls, I'm not making excuses for none of them little hoes because these motherfuckers was trained for this. Just look at how they move. Their mouths lied in unison. Their bodies moved in sync. Their stories shifted like they were rehearsed. Their eyes, when they told the story, that's why Monifa kept them shades on. Their eyes were calculated, cold, and empty as hell. These were not children. They were fucking weapons. They never loved Kenneka. They loved what using her got them. That's what happened. They didn't see Kenneka as a friend. They saw her as a product, an asset, a ticket, a sacrifice. And that's why their guilt never showed. Because you only feel bad when you care. And these hoes ain't care, not even a little bit. Their loyalty was never to Kenneka. It was to Theresa. So when shit hit the fan, who did they protect? Theresa. Who did they lie for? Theresa. Who did they echo? Theresa. Who did they defend? Theresa. And who did they sacrifice? Kenneka. Their allegiance was never to their age group or their friends. It was to them fucked up adults who fed them, who taught them, who molded them, who taught them how to be little hoes and make $15, $20. These fucking girls were handpicked. They were chosen. They were groomed. They were used. And they all participated in using others. Theresa taught them well. These little hoes weren't scared. They were waiting. They was waiting for the moment. They was waiting to be paid in approval and loyalty. That's why they didn't run. That's why they didn't crumble. They didn't break. That's why they left her. Because they didn't fail her. They followed the fucking plan. That's what happened. That's what happened. These were not this girlfriends. They were straight gutter trash. And if y'all believe that they were straight gutter trash, throw some empty trash cans in this bitch. Theresa was not confused. Theresa was the architect. She was the overseer, the one at the top of this chain. And you know what every manipulator, madam, and shadow woman needs, right? Thank you, Antoinette. I see the trash cans, baby. Every manipulator and overseer needs pawns. They need disposable pieces. They needed girls that she could control, groom, and use. Theresa lived in a world of secrets and lies. She manipulated men and children, controlled narratives. Theresa operates in the dark and shapes stories. She can't do this shit alone. You need people who owe you. You need people you can scare and gaslight. You need people who depend on your approval. People who come from broken homes and crave validation. People you can shape into your little soldiers. And that's what she did with them little trashy ass girls. Those little bitches that called themselves Kenneka friends. They were products of Theresa's system. Theresa needed these girls because they wouldn't question shit. She needed these girls who could lead Kenneka into places that she couldn't go. Think about it. A grown woman can't walk a teenager into certain situations, but other teens can. And these friends did exactly that because that's what they were being used for. She needed those girls to keep their fucking mouths shut. It was loyalty. She needed somebody who could take the fall if shit went left. So what she did, she put pawns there. And if everything goes wrong, you blame them. You point them out. You cry about them. You turn the world against them. And what did Theresa do? The exact fucking thing. She started calling them out. These little bitches weren't acting on impulse. They were programmed. They didn't just betray Kenneka. They were conditioned to betray her. They were expected to. That's it, and that's all. And what Theresa don't understand, or thinking we don't understand, That hotel paid your dumb ass off because you were hungry for money. They saw you, they saw how you move. You were a regular at that goddamn hotel, tricking men for dollars. So they knew that you were a greedy bitch. So they figured if they would have offered you a couple of dollars so you could shut the hell up and leave them the hell alone, you would have took it and ran. And that's what you did. You overlooked their negligence. You let them get, you could pretty much say you let them get away with murder just so you could have had a few dollars. For those that don't understand, that payoff was a red flag. That hotel paid Theresa to shut the fuck up. If that hotel was innocent, if the footage was clean, if everything happened exactly how they claim, if this was simply a drunk girl wandering off situation, why the hell would they pay Theresa anything? Why? Let me try to break this down with a little common fucking sense. Innocent people don't pay to make cases go away. If a hotel knows they aren't responsible, if they believe they did everything right and their staff followed protocol, if their timeline was accurate, why would they have let that shit go to court? Because courts would have proved that they were innocent. Courts would have cleared their name, protected the brand, and would have secured their money. So why did it didn't go to court? These people at this hotel didn't go to court because they knew they had missing logs, negligent staff, sketchy camera footage. They had gaps in the timeline, untrained or missing workers. They had a lot of inconsistencies and lies. And then they had a dead black girl on the property. They didn't pay Theresa out of guilt. They didn't pay this bitch out of sympathy, and they damn sure didn't pay her out of compassion. They paid Theresa off to buy her silence, control the narrative, lock down the truth, and to keep the public from seeing the real story. Because y'all, Theresa was the only person who could have demanded a full investigation, and the bitch didn't. Theresa was the only person who could have sued for real discovery, and she didn't. Theresa was the only person who could have made that hotel hand over every fucking thing, and she didn't. Theresa could have got employee statements, all unedited footage, all camera angles, all back of the house logs, maintenance records, freezer access logs. Theresa could have got witness interviews. She could have got it all. But instead of demanding the truth, this bald-headed bitch wanted a check. That's not the role of a mother, not one seeking justice. That's a woman compromising the entire case. Now, let's talk about why that hotel was so damn eager to pay her. Because see that body they roll out that freezer? That initial media coverage? That closed casket? That rush narrative? None of that shit added up And the hotel knew that. They could not survive a full trial. That was not Kenneka that was unalive. That was not Kenneka in that fucking casket. A lot of inconsistencies. Body size didn't match. Facial structure off. Discoloration didn't align with the timeline of death. Funeral photos didn't look like her. The condition didn't match a freezer case. Theresa greedy ass moved too fast for money. That hotel knew all of this shit. Why the fuck would Theresa not want proof that that was a child? Why would she not demand clarity? And that's because everybody involved knew exactly what the fuck took place. They knew who touched her. They knew where she was last seen. They knew what she walked into. And they knew how the fuck she disappeared. They knew all of this. They knew why the timeline changed. They knew who the friends were working for. They knew what that hotel was hiding and why that casket stayed closed. They knew all of this. And they knew the public could never see the real truth. So the cover-up wasn't about a freezer. The cover-up was about a body. You know what I'm saying without me having to scream it. The body they presented did not match the story the hotel sold the world. That's why that settlement happened. That's why Theresa stayed quiet. That's why that family never fought. That's why the footage never made sense. And that's why the city closed the case. That's why friends vanish. And that's why that ragged ass daddy ain't never opened his mouth after he got that money. See, when everybody is quiet, that means everybody is guilty. The body that they presented did not match the story that the hotel sold the world. That's it, and that's all. This case needs to be looked at like a chain of decisions and not a series of accidents. Because nothing about this story happened in isolation. Theresa controlled the narrative instead of demanding the truth. That hotel paid them off instead of proving innocence. And the authorities in charge, they accepted convenience over clarity. This shit is not chaos. That's straight alignment. And when everybody's behavior lines up, somebody's protecting something, somewhere. Why would that hotel pay anybody? Why? People have been asking this question for 8 years. How quickly the case was closed. Why that casket remained closed. Why was there no independent autopsy? And why, when people were looking for visual confirmation, it was discouraged? And that family didn't no longer want justice. This is sad. This is sad. This is sad. And guys, we've been out here 2 hours. It's time for us to roll a hell on up out of here. I appreciate y'all pulling up. Here we don't chase popularity. We only chase purpose. Silence don't scare me. Money don't impress us over here. The truth doesn't get buried just because it's uncomfortable. Kenneka's name will continue to ring bells because she's worth fighting for. She's worth fighting for. Before I close out tonight, I'm going to ask you all to like, share, and subscribe if you felt this message in any kind of way. Because y'all keep this chat going. Y'all most definitely do keep this chat going. And we're going to be back. We're going to be back. Just make sure you keep those notifications set. I don't know what day MOCA coming and what time. Because it's the weekend. But we still have a lot to discuss. I appreciate y'all rocking and rolling with me. Shout out to the replay crew. You guys are the bomb. For everyone that supported the channel tonight, whether it was Cash App, Super Chat, Super Sticker, grabbing a membership, or even just hitting that like button, I appreciate you. I appreciate you. And I wish each and every one of you a beautiful weekend, a peaceful night. Tom said I'm about to go do some more searching on this. And more, I'm going to be up. It's Friday. I'm on break till the 6th. Our sister, we both going to be up. You and me both. I love you all. God bless you all. Until next time.
We stand tall, we rise as one. No lapels, the work ain't done. No. Motivated from the heart, never run. Truth and caring, everything we become. It's more than a vibe, it's a home, it's a call. Over here we catch each other when we fall. This is family. Full of truth and a chat full of cheer. MOCA in the seat, steady steering the ship. Every topic got depth, every comment got grip. We don't tear folks down, we just build them up. If you're moving off love, then you one of us. Know the pride in the room and the vibe so loud. Every bell in the chat gon' rep that crowd. We stand tall, we rise as one. No lapels, the work ain't done. Won't you lead from the heart, never run. Truth and care. Truth and like one tribe, one mission in mind. We protect what's right and we hold that line. It's the chat where the truth and the love collide, where the voices don't hide and the pain gets light. We see you, we feel you, we fight for the cause. Every kid, every tear, we break down walls. When you hear that bell, that's the call to act. We family now, and that's just facts. We stand tall, we rise as one. Know the bells, no work ain't done. Know that the leading from the heart never run. Truth and care are everything we become. It's more than a vibe, it's a home, it's a call. Over here we catch each other when we fall. This is family. This one's for every voice we fight for and every child who needs to be heard. We see you, we feel you. We stand with the truth. This is Enola Bells. Leave a comment, like, share, subscribe. Stand tall with join the family.
Good night, everyone. God bless.